and welcome to Geek-lish, the language of geek culture. I am your host, Tim Aguiar, and joining me is the blue blur, Heidi Barbeau. Heidi.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Finally.
I know we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
For a little while.
For a little while.
And then we're going to be gone, and then we're going to come back again.
Yeah. It's just going to be like a little blip.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's going to be a little not, I don't want to call it a vacation, because it's not.
No. No, and I was going to talk about this at the end, but I'll just mention it now since we're kind of riding into it. We're going to have a video that we're going to post on our website and our Facebook page and wherever else we can put it to kind of let you guys know this. But since you're listening, I will just mention that I had some life issues, life things that happened, not necessarily issues, that prohibited me creatively, mentally, and emotionally participating in the podcast. And so we took a little hiatus while Tim did his own thing with his voice work. And now we're back to do some podcast episodes. I am going to be having a major surgery, and we'll know in about 10 days when that's going to be. So we're going to keep trucking and do our podcasts as normal. Once I have that surgery, we'll probably be off for 1 or 2 episodes. I'm hoping only 1. I'm actually hoping none, but yeah, I'm trying to be positive. And then we'll be back on track. So thank you everybody for listening and checking in with us to see what's going on. We just kind of wanted to let you guys know there'll be a video, but this is basically what's happening.
Yeah.
And
where can they see us, Heidi?
Oh, that's right.
It's been a while. We've
been
forgot.
A while. You guys can find us on Facebook. We're also at Geek-lish, on Twitter at Geek_lish, and we're also on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Blueberry, and YouTube. And I believe, and I have not checked, but we're not on Pandora yet.
No, and I checked.
Oh, you did?
I checked,
okay,
yeah,
then I gotta get on them about that.
Because I was like, are we on there yet?
We were supposed to be, and I have.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any emails saying that we have, or really nothing from them yet.
I'll have to follow up on that.
The only email I noticed was from this very specific company.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes. But anyways, you can find us everywhere else.
There's options, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can find us. You
Right?
absolutely can find us.
Jeez.
All right, Tim.
You're listening to podcasts on Pandora. You're doing it wrong. I don't even know how that works.
I don't know yet either. Just
listen to an episode and then they jump you to a completely different podcast.
I know, right? You might like this.
Yeah, you might like these people. It's so used to those people. It's so weird.
Odd.
But it is weird, yeah. I don't know how the hell they do it. I don't know. It might be cohesive, and I don't know. But yeah. It's Pandora.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how that's going to work.
It might be a mess. But whatever. There's other places you can find us. So yeah, our first story.
You want to say our story?
What? Oh my God, I forgot. Oof. This is. It's funny because I've been listening to these podcasts. Before we start the story, I would like to say good night to my little buddy Oliver. Let's get into radio mode. I love you, buddy. Good night. Be good for Mama, and you're the best. I love you. Okay, and we'll try not to swear.
And see.
As Heidi's mentioned in the beginning, I am an actor. Working on some stuff. Can't talk about it yet, but
coming soon.
I don't know when the hell's coming up.
Coming soonish.
Coming.
Eventually.
It's coming. It's coming.
Eventually.
It's coming. If I can get my goddamn lines right.
Yeah.
Did you know it's pronounced archipelago? I didn't.
I'd never even heard of that word.
I think it's a group of islands. I don't even know. Someone's going to be like, that's not right. But anyway, first story. Mm-hmm. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Top story.
Top story.
The VFX team who fixed the Sonic movie. I don't know what that was. Are you referencing the horrifying teeth?
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking on that one. That was nightmare fuel.
I don't remember seeing it.
No?
No.
God, it was horrifying. Because it was real human teeth on...
Oh, that's disturbing.
On this cartoon hedgehog.
That is very disturbing.
And I was like, that is not right. That just looks weird. So it's about the VFX team. So the production of this is from, by the way, this is from Cracked, and by it's an article by Cedric Voets, Voets. I probably am pronouncing that wrong, but he writes the production of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie has been the kind of fascinating saga you won't see during the screening of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. A terrible design, yes, definitely a terrible design, set upon by waves of internet hate, only to be completely redeemed at the last second by a team of incredible designers. True story. Because the fix, it looks amazing. The new Sonic looks good.
Okay.
And it's like, now it's a movie I want to see. And for a moment, it seemed like the Sonic production would have a happy ending. But this was a story of being shamed by social media. So it wasn't going to end until someone got canned. Movie Pictures Company Vancouver had been responsible for such praised animal visual effects, like in Life of Pi, which was an amazing movie. The tiger, and oh my god, and the award-nominated live-action The Lion King.
Okay.
So they know how to do they do really good effects. So if anyone knew how to make the reaction to their Azure mammal as emotionless as possible, it was MPC Vancouver. Yet, despite single-handedly saving the movie, the company is now being unceremoniously shut down.
Wait, the people who fixed it?
Mm-hmm.
The people who fixed the nightmare teeth and everything else that everybody hated, those people are being canned?
They're being shut down by owner Technicolor, forced to now use their underappreciated VFX skills to give their kids the illusion of an Xbox for Christmas. That's sad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't the bad video game character that killed MPC Vancouver, but bad video game practices. Like that industry, VFX has a terrible reputation for exploiting and then tossing away their workers. Despite allegedly having had to crunch 17 hours a day to single-handedly save a $95 million property, they were just tossed aside with no input because their offices weren't located in a city that was offering enough tax breaks, only being allowed to stay on if they uproot their lives and move to a whole new country.
Wow. That is so shitty.
That is poop. That is poop practices.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I cussed.
Oh, whatever.
That is horrible.
That sucks. Yeah, no, that is horrible news.
You do realize that we always talk about the horrible practices in the video game industry.
And that was something that this specifically was something that people were very worried about when they first complained about the original Sonic design. Mm-hmm. When they complained about it, and then because everybody complained about it, nobody liked the Sonic design. It was horrifying. It was too human-like, which is very strange for a cartoon hedgehog.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they were doing. But when they said they were going to fix it and that they were going to delay the movie, people were very worried that, please don't complain, because if you complain, the studio is going to be treated like crap and the people are going to be working stupid hours to try to fix this, like 17 hours a day, to try to fix this problem, and they're not going to be paid right, and they're going to, all these horrible issues. And then they said, "Oh no, it'll be fine. We're gonna push the movie back." And it was like, "Okay,
yeah,
that sounds great." So everybody was like, a sigh of relief. Mm-hmm. And now it's coming back and going, "Yeah, we had to fire those guys."
The guys that fixed it.
Yeah, the guys that fixed it. But remember, they were the ones that first made it that, and so they fixed their own problem. But it's like they still fixed it.
Yeah, and we don't really know who. I mean, some stupid CEO could have said, or
yeah,
you know how senior managers are, how they think something is an amazing idea, but the people that actually are going to do it are sitting there looking at him like he's a moron, because he is. It's the dumbest idea ever.
All the time.
So it's almost like, I almost feel like this is that situation. I don't know for sure, but it could be. So the fact that they're getting fired for fixing their own mistake might not necessarily been their mistake. It might have been something they had to do.
Yeah, I mean, the movie business is nefarious. There it is. For sending back these notes of, oh, make it more like this or make it more like that, and it's like these CEOs or these board members have no idea what they're talking about
at all.
They have no clue on how any of this is going to work. But they just, we want more of this and we want more of that. We want this to be more. Can you make that a little bit more bigger? And it's like, that is not possible.
That's not realistic.
That's not realistic. But I mean, we're paying you guys, so you guys should do it. It's like, okay, we'll do it. Hey, it looks like shit. What a surprise, because you guys don't know what you're talking about and you made us do something. I'm not to say that that's what happened, but I am more likely to believe that's what happened than the artists saying, yeah, let's make this guy look like a human.
Yeah, I know.
Let's make Sonic look more like a child, or like more like a small person with weird gangly arms and human teeth and
Which is super creepy.
more animal-like face, which is what the hell? But the article goes on, because remember, the entertainment biz isn't all Hollywood glitz and millionaire game devs. Programmers, designers, writers, and artists who make our favorite entertainment are often underpaid, overworked, and have less job security than an always stoned mall cop. But instead of getting solidarity when they want better work conditions, they get ignored at best and betrayed at worst when they dare not work themselves to death for our pleasure. And in a fair world, this would be the thing that Sonic fans, video game fans, and the internet as a whole should create a social media storm over. Not that their nostalgic blowjob has a bit too toothy. Because of the teeth. But
Okay, so that last part was a pretty harsh blow to the audience, but I think it's deserving.
more or less.
Because people love to complain.
Yes.
They love to complain. They love to tear things down. They because hating and tearing things down and being ugly is very easy. It's very easy. It's the coward's way of doing things. Building people up and supporting people is difficult.
Yeah.
And that's why people take the other route. But this doesn't surprise me at all that people just complained and complained. And even when it comes out, what they fixed, people are still going to complain.
I don't know. I mean, there will always be somebody who complains, regardless. But I think like the design initially there was something inherently wrong with it. It wasn't like you were making a Sonic movie. It looked nothing like Sonic. It was a blue character. That was it. It had big hair and it ran fast. That was the link to Sonic. Everything else was nightmarish. It wasn't good. Even other visual effects artists complained about how it wasn't technically good. Yeah, it's horrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you can't tell me the image on the right is not a better image than the original image.
It is, but and granted, I'm not a Sonic the Hedgehog. I didn't play it.
Right.
I don't know anything about that.
I mean, I'm not a diehard fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's like.
But the one on the left is the teeth are a little creepy. The top are weird, but the rest of it, I'm like, it doesn't matter. But the other one looks more like
the other one looks better in motion. The other one looks better, like in the trailer, it looks better, and it's just, I don't know, it's like the whole trailer is different, and just the vibe of it feels better. It just, I don't know, that original design, it just didn't work.
No,
it just didn't work at all, and I mean, it sucks, but I don't know, blaming the consumer specifically for this problem. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say it's unfair, because it is a justified thing to say to the kind of the audience online that complained.
Well, because I think people have the right to complain. It's just they go overboard.
Right. But I feel like on this one, it wasn't like people went overboard in the sense of like how they do with other movies or TV shows where they attack the actor, or they attack these people and write horrible like death threats and all these terrible stupid things. They were just like, wow, this is bad. This just looks stupid. This is a horrible design. and other artists were putting up their designs and saying, wow, this is how it should look. This is better. This is, whatever the hell. And it was like, okay, like they were harsh, but they weren't like cruel in a way of going, wow, you guys suck. You guys should all be fired. Nobody, from what I remember, I didn't hear anybody saying things like that.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow,
this is a
what
really
the hell is
not
this?
Good design.
This is a major studio. This is a bad design. And it was, yeah.
And people are, to the same extent, have come forward to say that they like the new design. Or is anybody...
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves the new design. Everybody, It's almost unanimous that the new design is like, oh my God, they fixed it. And people were online praising the VFX artist did a great job fixing this design.
See, here's my issue. I think if they didn't fix it right and people were still unhappy, I can see them getting fired.
Right.
But they fixed it and everybody was happy and everybody could move on.
That's the thing that I think
so live and
I'm
learn.
surprised about.
Live and learn.
It's like, yeah, they fixed it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the problem.
I don't either. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I understand inherently the problem, that it was a bad design. They fixed it, like you said. So I fixed the problem, so now you fire me?
Yeah.
After I fixed the problem?
Yeah.
It wasn't like they fired them and then hired a new team to fix the problem. It was the same team, and then they went, okay, we're going to shut down the. I mean, you can still have a job if you want to, uproot your life and move to another country.
Which they know people
Which is
wouldn't
like,
do.
come on, like I'm not going to do. It's like
No.
that's not a reasonable
No.
kind of. I don't want to say defense, but whatever. I don't. It's not a reasonable option.
Yeah.
For someone to do.
No.
It's like, yeah, all right, I'll just uproot my job and move somewhere.
Maybe some single guy who doesn't have a whole lot of family might want to do that to see the world, or single lady or whatever. But that's not a feasible thing for people who actually they're rooted in their community.
Yeah, they have a family and all these things. Because then it's.
I just think that's really unfortunate for that. I really feel bad for the designers, but I think that's a super crappy way to do business as a company. That's really bad.
Yeah. And I think this is one of the situations where boycotting the movie is a good choice.
Yeah.
Because
people are already fired.
Because people already got fired.
Yeah.
So now it's like, all right, fuck you then. Now I'm not going to watch your movie.
Yep.
I was going to watch your movie because they fixed the Sonic design. Now you just fired the people that fixed the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go watch your movie.
Yeah. I do think it is a good way to.
I think this is one of those moments where this is when you boycott.
Yep.
This is the moment.
Because that whole 17 hours a day is not supposed to be happening. People shouldn't be sleeping, taking naps under their desk and stuff like that.
And that is ridiculous. A notorious thing that happens in game design as well, where they have the last 60 or 90 days is crunch time. And they work ungodly hours to finish up the game or the movie. And it was that movie Sausage Party was nefariously mentioned because of notoriously mentioned for their nefarious doings. Brought it around because a lot of people caught wind of how the VFX artists were treated, and they were like, "Screw that movie. That's not how you treat VFX artists.
No,
like these guys worked hours and hours and did all this stuff to make your movie thing, a possibility, and they're not getting paid for it. Like, what the hell?"
That's horrible.
It's just absolute garbage, and it needs to be fixed in both the movie and the video game industry, in my opinion.
Yes.
So on to the next story.
Okay.
The VGAs happened a few days ago of this recording. I like to say I was there because I had a nice front row seat in my VR headset.
I'm very jealous.
Mm-hmm. Heidi's turning green with jealousy.
I am.
I
want a VR headset.
It was so cool.
Santa's already told me no.
It was. Santa said no. I get sick when I use it.
Yeah. Well, Santa said, I don't remember ever telling you no. I said, you said no. I remember, and you shut me down, and I cried a little.
I told you, you're just going to have to get it. Just going to have to go behind Santa's back and buy it yourself.
Doesn't mean as much.
I know. But it was a cool experience. Mm-hmm. To be there. They announced some really cool things right in the beginning, which was very surprising. Yeah, like this, what I'm about to talk about, was the first thing they announced, which is very strange for usually something this big is saved for the end.
Right.
This was the first thing they announced.
Okay.
Which again it's a weird practice, and it was a cool experience because I was in VR. Otherwise, it was a very boring thing.
Oh, really?
I was yawning. I'm looking around. The cool thing was that you could look around and you can see people in the audience, and there were people in the audience on their cell phones.
Oh, really?
People in it just talking to each other, and it was like this. Nobody is interested in this at all.
Oh, wow.
This is boring. It was a boring award show. It was
they kind of all are, in my opinion.
They kind of all are, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, it was weird because this is kind of turning into a minor review of the VGAs, but I don't know. It was even the advertisements were weird, like were weirdly out of place because there were like those those jewel pod things.
Yeah,
they were like anti-jewel pod things. It was like, what does that have to do with the gaming community?
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck is happening? Like
weird
game commercials.
Yeah.
Laptop, technology commercials.
Yeah.
Fucking non-smoking commercials. What the hell's going on right now?
What?
Like those Juul things, like because that's anti-Juuls.
Oh, vaping? The vaping
yeah, the vaping, like the anti-vaping thing. It's like, why is this a part of this thing. This is weird. And then you have like celebrities that are just there because they're celebrities, and it's just like, you and I both know you don't play video games. Some of them do, but
there are celebrities that I am surprised by.
But some of them don't.
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
You can tell which ones do and which ones don't.
Like I was really surprised to hear Superman guy.
The new Superman?
Yeah. What's his name?
I don't know. I know who you're talking about.
Henry something.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Or Cavill. It's Cavill.
Anyways, he plays video games.
Yeah, he's the new Witcher on the.
I know.
Netflix,
I actually saw it's going to be on December 20th.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
It looks really good. I'm excited for it. It's based more off of the books than the video game, though.
But I also heard that, and I don't know if this is true. I got to look it up. But he's actually narrating the books.
I don't know. Well, I posted a video on the Geek-lish Facebook page of him just reading.
Yeah, but
a few
I saw
pages.
Something.
I don't know if he's narrating. If he is, I'm buying those books.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, the audiobooks, but because the show is based more off of the books.
Yeah.
Than the video games.
I never got into the books. I want to check them out.
From what I've heard, the books are really
But he's somebody I would not think was a video game
Yeah.
person. But he's very into video games, and just like the guy, can't remember his name again. I'm horrible at names. That played in Magic Mike. He's big in D&D.
My God. Well, he's got a weird name. He's married to Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got a huge like D&D basement. All like he's got like dragon heads on the wall.
Yeah.
He's like he has like a celebrity kind of thing going on where he invites his celebrity friends to play. Vin Diesel is very.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dragon Man. Vin Diesel is very famous for playing D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a big nerd, and he was at the VGAs, and it was like okay.
I get that.
They were there to him and I'm bad with names as well. Him and one of the actresses who plays in the Fast and Furious movies. Mm-hmm. They were there to promote their Fast and the Furious game, which looks mediocre. And that was the last thing they showed.
Really?
That's the thing. That's the weird thing. It was like maybe it should have been swapped. Like the whole kind of, I don't know, the whole VGAs was Michelle Rodriguez. Haha, that's her name, Michelle Rodriguez. Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, he's
the Magic Mike guy who's married to Sofia Vergara.
That is huge in
He's
D&D.
a huge, and he's got his own like kind of D&D-ish clothing thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like very dark, like dark stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really cool, and like he was.
But
whatever.
My whole point is some celebrities
no.
really surprise me, and
there are some, yeah. But
and if I saw them at one of these things, I'd probably do check videos to see if they said, yeah, I love this.
But for some reason, I don't know why. Like E3 does this a lot, where they'll get an actor or an actress who is not one of those people to host a panel, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, okay, they're a big name, because they were like in a nerdy movie. It's like, okay.
So we can associate with
So
them?
yeah, like, oh, I know who that guy is. That's it's like, oh, they got Harrison Ford because he's Han Solo. Yeah, but he's not a nerd.
Yeah.
This is gonna be weird.
Yeah, and
it's gonna be very weird about it.
Yeah, and it's not like he's in a video game. Keanu Reeves is in a video game, so that made sense for him to be there.
And Keanu Reeves is just super, and he's a national treasure.
John Bernthal. What was his name?
John Bernthal?
The guy who played in.
The Punisher, and he was in one of the
army kind of
Black Ops or
so
something.
So it makes sense that they're there,
right? Yeah, well, because they were there to promote a video game.
Yeah,
and they're also fairly down to earth people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I don't know. Sometimes they get people who are.
All right, so what's the
isn't? But anyway, yeah.
What's the
big announcement they announced right off the bat was the new Xbox, a new system. A new gaming system.
They didn't save that for the end?
No, that was the first thing, because like even the host, I forget his name, he was very kind of cocky about it.
Oh, really?
It was like, oh, it's hard to keep these things secret because there's always all these leaks, blah blah. Which there are. It's always hard to keep certain things secret. And he's like, well, we kept one thing secret, and check this out. And I was like, that's the new Xbox. Like, Jesus. I mean, cool that you kept that a secret, but you couldn't have kept that like a little longer of a
Yeah.
secret until the at the end of this 3-hour award show.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe they got
I
it
sat
out.
there for an hour and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Wow, was that boring, huh?
3 hours. It was not good. And what sucked is I hate it when award shows do this, where they take minor awards and they'll just go, oh, and in the category of this, the winner is this. In the category of this, the winner is this. Okay, on to the next thing. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, oh, fuck those people, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, you guys have like 15 awards. You have 3 hours. Like, you couldn't make space for them?
Yeah.
Maybe don't have Green Day there.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the crowd for Green Day.
It bothers me because there are some award like editing or there's all these like smaller awards for instance movies that they always do like during commercial.
During
They'll
commercial,
say,
yeah.
oh, these people won these. And it's kind of like, okay, they won an Academy Award or an Oscar or whatever, so that's awesome. But
yeah,
but nobody ever sees them. Nobody ever,
Yeah, during the commercial, it's like in the category of visual effects.
Yeah,
the winner is blah 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 for
this
for this movie, and we'll be back to the Oscars. It's like, what the fuck?
They just
way to be so unceremonious.
I know, they just want the main ones because those are the A-listers that they want on screen.
Right, but it's that, but it's also they always have to have room for those musical performances, which in my opinion are always a waste of time. Every time there's a music performance, I change the channel and come back in 10 minutes because I know it's going to take fucking that long to do a goddamn musical performance. And then, like 30 minutes of goddamn commercials, and then they'll come back and give the next award out. But it's like, save time.
I understand a musical commercial if there's musicals getting an award.
Yeah, if it's the Grammys.
Yeah.
If it's the I forget which one it is. It's the one it's for musical. It's for like the Broadway shows. I forget what that Tonys.
Yep.
Like those are the only two that, in my opinion.
Well, even if they're the Oscars and there's movies that are
like for best song.
Yeah, or musical or something
like
that.
That's what they'll do for Oscars. They
could
do
do
that.
one.
Or no, they do all of them because there's like 5 nominees, so they have to give it for each nominee.
Yeah, but they could have one segment that they do all of the songs in. They flow into each new song.
That would be cool, and I think they do that a lot with the Oscars.
That would
not with the Oscars, because I've seen them do that with the Tonys.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, the Tonys are always they're fabulous. They're just amazing. They're having fun with it because it's the goddamn Tonys.
Yep.
Nobody's really taking it all that serious, except for the people who are there, which is whatever. But they always have like these moments of like, oh, here were like the 10 biggest songs from last year or written by this person, and they'll have an actor sing all 5 songs. They'll go into each song, and the sets will change, and it's like, wow, what a beautiful performance.
That's really cool.
You can't do that for the Oscars.
Yeah, I know, that would be nice.
But again, it's like, it's the Tonys, so they know how to, they know how to do the set changes in a matter of seconds, and it's like, but it's the movies. You guys should know how to do this shit too.
Seriously,
like, come on. But anyway, back to we digress.
Mm-hmm.
So they announced the Xbox Series X coming out in 2020, holiday 2020. That was the first thing they announced, which was weird. So after they announced that, you could just shut it off because the games they announced were okay. Nothing really noteworthy. They had a couple of cool games, but otherwise, nothing that you couldn't have just watched on YouTube the next day. Watch the trailer for every game coming out.
So I have a question. What is the Xbox Series X going to be able to do that the Xbox? We have the Xbox One, right? That's the last one.
Xbox One, I believe, is the last one. Yes.
So we have
the newest one.
We have 2.
Yeah, there was the Xbox. There was the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One is the newest one.
Okay, so what's the difference between the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X?
It's a lot of technical crap. A lot of technical mumbo jumbo that I really don't know.
Okay,
but I mean, it's here, but I just don't know what the hell any of it means.
But functional wise, are we going to get clearer games?
Oh yeah, you're going to get usually with the new generation of systems, you'll get much better graphics. You'll get systems that can run bigger games easier and faster without any stutter. Like games that you can play now, there's no way in hell you would have been able to play them 2 generations ago. Because the technology wasn't there. The systems, even though they were like the Xbox, the first Xbox was a big, bulky, giant box. And it ran games very well. But even then, there were certain games that you had to have 2 discs for.
Yeah.
And you had to switch them out. I mean, it was very rare, but it was like 1 or 2 games that were big like that. And then the Xbox 360 came out, and we didn't have that issue. But it was the same thing with PlayStation 3. PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1, there were a lot of multi-disc games because the games were massive. Yeah. So they had to split it into different discs. When the PS2 came out, there was still a couple of games that were like that. And when PS3 came out, there really wasn't any. If there were, those games were massive.
Yeah.
I don't think there were any. I can't remember if there were any, but I don't recall there being any. And then when the PS4 came out and the Xbox One came out, you're not getting that. You're also getting a lot of massive games that you can just download.
Yeah.
That you don't need discs for. You didn't really get that a lot with PS2.
Yeah,
you got that a few times with PS3.
Lou did that.
You got a lot more digital options, and just the streaming quality of it is a lot crisper. You get better graphics. You get more realistic stuff. So because they showed off some stuff when they showed off the new Xbox, and the graphics were they say that they're in game. There's some of it looks like a real human being, where it's like that cannot be game graphics. That has to be a real person. Because if it's not a real person, my mind is going to explode. Because if that's graphically what they're doing, holy shit, this is the future. You know what I mean? Because that looks like a real person. And I mean, graphically, even now, there are games where it's like, that looks so good. Graphically, that looks amazing. You can see the individual pores on the people's skin, and when their faces emote, you can see the wrinkles, and it's like, that's a real person. And it allows you to connect easier. But so with newer systems, you get better performance and whatnot. So the console itself looks far more like a PC than we've seen from the design. The problem is the design with this console is it looks like a mini fridge.
A mini fridge?
Yeah. It's this like maybe foot tall, thick rectangle. It looks, I'm like, I saw it and I'm like, that's what it looks like. It looks like a tower, like a PC tower, but perfectly square. Like it's a cube. It's a cubicle type rectangle. It's not the most attractive system. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah, it just looks very blah.
Coming out
and I was like,
holiday 2020?
Holiday 2020, yeah.
All right, so that means that I might still be able to get a VR before that goes on the market.
Maybe. But, I mean, also, here's the problem, though. The reason why Lou got the Xbox One was because the new Fallout was coming out on it.
Yeah.
And if they continue to do Fallout like they've been doing, Lou might not be getting a new one because he'll probably say, screw it.
Yeah.
There's no need to get a new one.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to make Fallout look like shit every year,
and he's not been playing Fallout. He's been playing the other game that's kind of like Fallout, but space.
Yeah, that was from the same company that made Fallout New Vegas, Obsidian, I believe, which Fallout fans have proclaimed to be the best of the Fallout series. And they made this game, and now they're like, this is now the best Fallout game they've made, even though it's not Fallout. Yeah. But it's the closest thing to Fallout that we've gotten since New Vegas. Yeah. Because 3 was good, 4 was okay, 76 is a garbage fire.
They keep saying they're trying to make it. They keep saying that they're making it better, Tim.
You can spend $100 for a membership. Stupid. But anyway, so the Xbox Series X will include a custom-designed CPU based on AMD's Zen 2 and Radeon RDNA architecture. I don't know what any of that means. Any tech people out there, you know what this means?
Rock on.
Rock on. Inform us, please. Microsoft is also using an NVMe SSD on Xbox Series X, which promises to boost load times. Xbox Series X will also support 8K gaming, frame rates of up to 120 frames per second in games, ray tracing, and variable refresh rate support. So basically, better performance, faster load times, or 0 load times, just better graphics, just a better gaming experience is what because at the moment 60 frames per second is the best anybody can make. Okay. 60. They're saying double that. And so because a lot of times some games I play are 30 frames per second and I'm fine with that. Because I'm like, I can't tell the difference. Yeah. Some people can, and good for those people. But you put a 60 frame and a 30 frame side by side, I'm like, I don't really know the difference. I don't have the eye for it.
But from a 30 to a
From
120?
a 30 to a 120, I'll probably tell a difference. I'll be like, wow, that looks like garbage. That looks awesome. Jesus Christ, it's taking forever. Like, it's just absolutely, it's insane. But so the Microsoft isn't talking GPU performance specifics just yet, but Spencer has dropped some hints on an interview with GameSpot in the graphics you see. So the Hellblade 2 trailer was the one I was talking about, where we're supposedly captured in-game engine running on the console in real time, and the facial animations, it looked like a real fucking person. So I was like, that looks like a real person. It looks like a real woman singing, like throat singing Viking style. And if that's a computer, that's a computer lady. Holy shit, that's a good looking computer lady. They did good. So the future of gaming is now. Well, the future of gaming is in holiday 2020.
Yeah.
And they also announced another game coming out. Like the second thing they announced was a video game, but it was specifically for the PlayStation 5. So they technically announced the PlayStation 5 also coming out holiday 2020. So we're getting both, but they didn't show the PlayStation yet, so we don't know what that's going to look like.
How did they announce a game for a console that's not even?
I have no idea. Even the game developers were there to talk about the new game because they were like,
bizarre.
It was weird. It was like, wow, that's putting the cart before the horse.
Seriously.
Our game looks awesome. You don't have a system yet.
Yeah. When's the system coming out?
I haven't even seen a system.
That's weird.
That was weird. But yeah, I mean, the Video Game Awards as a whole was kind of blah.
Yeah.
They had, like I said, they had some cool games.
I'm not really a fan of any video, or not video.
Any award show.
Any award show. I'm not a fan. I
mean, I really try to
else.
get into it because, especially with the Oscars and stuff like that, because I appreciate the people who do the hard work.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's just
there's just too much.
It's just handled very boringly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just give them the award. Give them the honor they deserve and give them
Yeah.
an award. Like, this could be an hour long. Do like Spike does with their Spike Awards for like the manliest movies. It takes like an hour and a half. It's hilarious. And they
People enjoy it more.
It's very tongue in cheek. They
People
know what they're doing.
probably watch it more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen. They haven't been on in a while, but it's like
No, I don't mean watch that, but I mean just watch award shows. If
they would watch award shows a lot more if it was more entertaining and just I don't know.
Yeah, I check out. I'll fall asleep.
Like I said, I mean, the best part of it was that I felt I was there because I was in VR. I was hacked into the Matrix, and I saw the code, and I was like, wow, I'm at the Video Game Awards. I'm glad I didn't pay for it. Glad I did not pay for these seats because I saw a picture online of somebody asleep.
Seriously?
In their chair at the video.
Oh, wow.
They were just like slouched in their chair, just completely out. And I was like, oh, I get it.
That is not a good sign.
It's not a good sign, no. But Jeff Keighley, that's who's the host and the
Who the hell's that?
Jeff, I don't know. He's the creator of the Video Game Awards.
Oh.
And he tries to make it. He tries to make it big. I mean, he tries, so I can't really fault him. But anyway, on to the our last story.
Big story.
I guess we could call the ass hat of the week.
Yeah.
Because
they kind
of are. So
I feel like this is all the Susans out there who made such a big deal without doing their research to get things to change, and now it's screwing everybody.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, getting into this. So you have all these people who think who go, oh, kids can see stuff, and now we've got and we've got to censor everything instead of trying to find a way to make it to where adults can see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just,
I get what you're saying now.
This is why I said this is like all the Susans in the world who overcompensated, and now everybody's getting screwed.
Stop, Susan. Goddamn, I want to see your manager haircut. You know which haircut I'm talking about. You see that shit from a mile away.
Yep.
Anyway, so it's our ass hat of the week. Gotta get the air horn in. God, we gotta get a sound effect. So YouTube is our ass hat of the week because this, no matter how you slice it, how you cut it. Well, technically YouTube and Google.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of hand in hand. And no matter how you slice it, this is their fault. So, YouTube formally announced a few weeks back. YouTube formally announced its plan to have creators label any videos of theirs that may appeal to children. Starting in January 2020, if creators mark a video as directed as at kids, data collection will be blocked for all viewers, resulting in lower ad revenue, and those videos will lose some of the platform's most popular features, including comments. So comments will be shut off. No end screens, which usually show other videos in their channel that you could click on from there. And it's a major change in how YouTube works and has left some creators clueless as to whether they're subject to the new rules. So this is from The Verge. This is from The Verge by McKenna Kelly and Julia Alexander. They wrote this article. So they go on to say, reached by The Verge, Google confirmed that this new system was the result of a landmark $170 million settlement YouTube reached with the Federal Trade Commission in September for allegedly violating children's privacy. So it's the largest fine ever collected under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, also known as COPA, COPPA, which forbids collecting data from children under the age of 13 without explicit consent from their parents.
So because YouTube screwed the pooch.
YouTube, yes.
And totally did something they knew was wrong, probably lazily, so they didn't have to define children's accounts from other accounts or children's videos from other videos. They lose all this money, and now what is happening is they're punishing all of the creators on YouTube.
Yes, pretty much. That is the
I don't think it's going to affect
short and long of it.
Necessarily affect us, because I always put that our videos are explicit.
Right, yes.
Because we cuss.
And
sometimes we talk about adult content.
Things, yeah.
And, But
it's other people that you kind of worry about.
Yeah, like gamers that do, playthroughs and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. People that will play video games.
Yep.
Because a lot of people consider video games to be for children.
Well, and in most video games... I won't say most video. There's a large portion of video games that kids do play.
Right.
And the kids might want to watch the playthroughs.
Right.
So unless the creators specifically say this is explicit content because they cuss or, do things.
Right.
The people that are putting those playthroughs that they don't put that they're explicit or whatever, they could lose everything.
Yeah, because the fines are very steep. So YouTube can't employ its powerful ad targeting system on anyone who might be under the age of 13, a dire problem for a platform with so many young users. So the new system is already sending creators reeling over what exactly is considered kids content and what could happen if they unintentionally mislabel videos. Some of YouTube's most popular categories falls into a gray area for the policy, including video games, family vlogging, and toy reviews. So creators are being held directly responsible by the FTC, said Dan Erdley, who reviews collectible toys on his channel Pixel Dan, told The Verge on Wednesday. So if the FTC decides that we are indeed targeting children, we will be fined. That is frightening. It's especially scary. Yeah, it's especially scary because the verbiage of kid directed versus kid attractive isn't very clear. He continued. It's hard to know if we're in violation or not. Children's advocacy groups like Common Sense feel that the rules don't go far enough. The Karens.
Yes.
These are the Karens. The Susans, the
Karens,
the Debbies. This
Deborah.
I'm sorry, yeah, the Deborahs. It's Deborah.
Yeah.
It's not Debbie. I'm not your friend. Right, Deborah? Sorry. Here's your latte. Thank you. Skim milk? Sure. I'm sorry. It's getting too specific now.
Yeah. Somebody's going to get offended.
My name's Karen. I drink skim milk lattes. Is he talking about me? Yes, I am. You're the person.
You are the one.
You're the one, Karen. And that's placing most of the burden on creators rather than YouTube itself won't do enough to protect kids online. However, the rules are entirely consistent with what YouTube is required to do under the settlement order. Ariel Johnson, Common Sense's senior counsel of policy and privacy, told The Verge, I felt that the settlement order fell short. Let's start that again. I felt that the settlement order fell short for kids and families and all the protections that they need. So it's not harsh enough, apparently. Which is, I mean, I kind of agree with that in the sense where it should be YouTube who should be punished.
Yes.
And not the creators.
Yes.
If that's what she's saying, then I agree with you, Ariel. If that's not what you're saying, you can go to hell.
Well, here's the thing. iTunes, I read through with iTunes when we signed up for it.
Their policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to be very clear that you have explicit content.
Right. Because they're following the law.
Exactly. And that's why I make sure that I'm very careful in how
you put that parental advisory thing on there
every time.
And yeah.
Mature audiences.
Right.
So, but iTunes takes responsibility for that. They're like they make sure to make it very clear that you need to do that because you could lose your channel.
Right.
They can shut you down.
Right.
So it seems to me like iTunes has a good grip on this.
They give you a reasonable heads up.
Yeah.
It seems like.
I don't understand why YouTube can't do something like that.
YouTube for some reason is kind of stepping back and going, it's not we settled out of court, so this is no longer our problem.
Yeah.
And it's this is completely your problem.
We messed everything up. We had to pay for it, but in the future we're not responsible.
Yeah. And it sucks. So in theory, YouTube has always been subject to COPA. In theory,
oh,
technically they've always been.
Settlement wasn't a theory.
But those restrictions have taken on new urgency in the wake of the recent settlement with the FTC. Under the terms of the settlement, YouTube is required to develop, implement, and maintain a system for channel owners to designate whether their content on the YouTube service is directed to children. Under the system that YouTube rolled out on Tuesday, creators who strictly make children's content can also have their entire channel designated as directed at children. Once a video is labeled as kids content, all personalized ads will be shut off, replaced with contextualized advertising based on the video itself. So within YouTube, it's clear that child-directed videos will have fewer advantages on the platform, which kind of sucks for the people who are making the videos because now they're not going to get paid. They're not going to get advertisement paying them for these videos. So the most obvious is the removal of targeted ads, but a number of other YouTube features are also impossible without personalized data. In particular, child-directed videos will no longer include comments section, click-through info cards, end screens, notification functions, and the community tab, all powerful tools for driving viewers back to a channel. So if your channel is, if you have a video that's labeled for kids, there will be nothing that will allow anybody nothing easy anyway, to help them watch more of your videos, to follow your channel, to view any more of your content. It's like a one and done kind of situation.
And what's unfortunate is this is going to drive a lot of content creators to not do kids videos.
Right. Or worse for YouTube, it'll drive content creators off of YouTube and into other channels, other providers, I should say. Because there's a few out there.
And and the more that this YouTube is doing this because they have a monopoly.
Right.
Everybody goes to YouTube for things.
Yeah, YouTube
to do everything. Yeah. So
YouTube is the most well known.
If they didn't have the monopoly, they wouldn't be pulling this crap.
True.
So
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think that people should check out other places and see what they can offer.
See where your options lie. Because if you don't have to be on YouTube, I wouldn't be on YouTube. Go somewhere else. So the consequences for not labeling a video as child-directed could be even more severe. In its September order, the FTC made it clear that it could sue individual channel owners who abuse this new labeling system. Crucially, those lawsuits will fall entirely on channel owners rather than on YouTube itself. Under the settlement, YouTube's responsibility is simply to maintain the system and provide ongoing data updates. In a video explaining the changes to creators, YouTube explicitly declined to tell channel owners when to label a video. So this is what they said in the video. Ultimately, we can't provide legal advice. We're unable to confirm whether or not your content is made for kids. That decision is up to you, taking into consideration these factors. YouTube goes on to ask creators to consult with a lawyer if they need help determining whether their content appeals to a younger audience. That is the biggest horseshit statement of a company that I've heard in a very long time. The fact that they're saying that we can't tell you whether or not your video is labeled at kids, you sure as shit can.
You're the platform.
You're the platform. You have better information than I do. You made the deal with this. You made the deal with the government.
Yeah.
You have all the information. So I don't know why you can't then tell me, hey, if your video has this, and this, it's definitely for kids.
Jeez.
Like, you can't just be like, yeah, we can't. We legally can't tell you that. Are you kidding?
Wow.
And if you don't know, I would get a lawyer to find out. It's like, wow, you guys are no fucking help whatsoever.
For real.
So yeah, so if the FTC does take action against channel owners, it's likely to be both selective and heavy-handed. The FTC is a small agency and doesn't employ nearly enough staffers to tackle every COPA failure that gets uploaded to YouTube. Chairman Joe Simmons has repeatedly called for more money to address the staff shortage. With so much content uploaded to YouTube every day, the FTC is likely to focus on high-profile cases against popular channels. Under COPA, the FTC is entitled to seek $42,000 for each mislabeled video, which means monetary damages could quickly grow to a staggering scale. So $42,000, not per channel, each individual video. So if you have 5 videos that you've mislabeled, that's $42,000 times 5. You are bankrupt. You're homeless. You have no more fucking money. Sorry that your life is now ruined, basically, because there's no way you're going to argue against the government to say, I didn't know.
Well, obviously the government doesn't care because it says...
Oh, the government could give a shit.
Yeah, they really don't
really,
care.
They don't care. They do not care. So at the Federal Trade Commission website, they break it down a little bit clearer to where...
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. I read it and I was like, I don't understand this, but I understand this a little bit better now. And I worry a little less now for ours, like specifically for our channel.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, good. But other people are still worried. So the FTC action against YouTube and Google, the lawsuit, well, we've talked about the lawsuit. So a COPA recap, the provision of the settlement has raised questions among content creators about how to determine if what they upload to YouTube or other platforms is directed to children. The answer requires a brief summary of some key COPA provisions passed by Congress in 1998. So since 1998, YouTube has shit the bill. So good job, guys. Or screwed the pooch, I should say. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPA, is a federal law that protects the privacy of children at the age of 13. We know this. The FTC enforces the law through the COPA rule. In general, COPA requires operations of commercial websites and online services that are directed to children. So the COPA rule defines personal information to include obvious things like a child's first and last name or home address, but that's not all. Under COPA, personal information also covers what are called persistent identifiers. Behind-the-scenes code that recognizes a user's over time and across different sites or online services. That could be an IP address or a cookie when it's used to serve targeted ads. Keep in mind that an operator also might be collecting personal information through an open comment field on its site or service that allows the user under 13 to make personal information publicly available. For example, think of a comment like this on a child-directed site. My name is Mary Jones from Springfield. I love this video. Because kids don't fucking know any better.
Yep.
That's something Mary Jones would write. Mm-hmm. So how COPA applies to channel owners. COPA applies to the same way it would if the channel owner had its own website or app. So that's why they're kind of holding them accountable. But here's the really important part. So how channel owners can determine if their content is directed to children. So under COPA, there is no one-size-fits-all answer about what makes a site directed to children, but we can offer some guidance. You're doing better than YouTube.
Yeah.
To be clear, your content isn't considered directed to children just because some children may see it. However, if your intended audience is kids under 13, you're covered by COPA and have to honor the rules required. So that makes things already clear. Mm-hmm. If you're aiming at kids under 13, you are under COPA. If your video is just something that kids might like you said, like Let's Plays that I swear a constant amount, or and I also make very derogatory jokes, but I'm also playing a video game that a kid might like. It's not my fault that kid watches it.
Right.
I'm not aiming it at him or her. But if I'm like, hey kids, do you like colors? I'm clearly aiming at a child under the age of 13. It's like, oh, my COPA's attacking me. I got a video about the color blue. Who else would it be about?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? So the rule sets out additional factors the FTC will consider in determining whether your content is child-directed. The subject matter, visual content, the use of animated characters or child-oriented activities and incentives, the kind of music or other audio content, the age of models. So if you have children in your video, clearly it's aimed at children.
Yeah, ours is all audio. So.
Yeah. The presence of child celebrities or celebrities who appeal to children, language or other characteristics of the site, whether advertising that promotes or appears on the site is directed to children, and competent and reliable empirical evidence about the age of the audience.
Yeah, I know for our particular situation, our YouTube, the files are created. It's all audio.
It's all audio.
The only thing you see is our logo, which technically could be kind of somebody could look at it
kind of fall under the use of animated characters or child oriented or child oriented.
But when you listen to our content and you look at our content, we talk about a lot of things that are way over kids' heads.
So just listening, past the 8 minutes, because we try not to swear, for my child.
Yeah.
But then again, the fact that that's in there.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm aiming the podcast at children?
Well, no, because you're just saying goodnight to your son because you know he listens for a few minutes.
Right, but I
don't know.
That's. Do I need to stop saying goodnight to my baby?
Maybe.
If I have to, then I have to. But somebody could say that. Somebody could be like, well, he's literally speaking to a child.
Yeah.
So, technically, I don't know.
I don't know.
We're going to have to get a lawyer.
No. Here's the thing. I don't think that's a big enough thing for the FCC to actually take any action against us because you're saying goodnight to your son and all of our content is very, very
adult.
And even if we talk about video games or a movie like Sonic the Hedgehog that kids would potentially go see, we're talking about the designers getting fired. We're talking about
not kid stuff.
Yeah, no, there's things that kids are not gonna. And they most kids probably don't even care about what the actual freaking Sonic looked like. Adults did. Kids probably didn't.
Weirdly, adults cared more than the kids.
So I'm not worried about our situation. I do worry about other people's situation, especially people we know who might have playthroughs and things like that. Because, but again, if they're cussing and giving each other shit during the playthrough, and they put in their description, something to the effect that this, of what they're covering and what they're doing in there, it makes sound more like adult content,
right?
And even though you're talking to your son, we're directing it towards one person.
That's true too. Yeah.
And our podcast is not for kids.
No.
There's
definitely not.
Like I don't. No.
But it's funny too because it's funny that I actually mentioned that because YouTube even implemented a rule for a lot of their videos that say that you can't cuss in the first minute because of ad revenue. If you swear in the first minute, then your video will be demonetized and you won't get ads. So they kind of painted they painted people in a corner in a sense where they were like, you can't swear for the first minute. So it's like, okay, so for the first minute, we're kid friendly. Yeah. And then after that, it's a fucking minefield.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, but you told us that we needed to be more ad friendly because otherwise we're not going to make money. And let's be honest, a lot of people are on YouTube for the hobby.
No.
For a lot of people on YouTube, that's their livelihood. That's their job. That's what they live off of. There are other things that like, Patreon and stuff like that are new things that are coming up that are gaining them money. And they have like stores that they're selling merchandise on and all that stuff. But the ads that are coming out of YouTube is a big portion of that.
Yeah, they make their money off YouTube. Again, that's not anything we have to worry about because we're not monetized.
We are not. Yeah, we are not monetized. Not yet, anyway. Hopefully soon. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, so the determination of whether content is child-directed will be clearer in some contexts than in others, but we can share some general rules of thumb. First, unless you're affirmatively targeting kids, there are many subject matter categories where you don't have to worry about COPA. For example, if your videos are about traditionally adult activities like employment, finances, politics, home ownership, home improvement, or travel, you're probably not covered unless your content is geared towards kids. The same would be true for videos aimed at high school or college students. On the other hand, if your content includes traditional children's pastimes or activities, it may be child-directed. For example, the FTC recently determined that online dress-up game was child-directed. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but that was...
Online dress-up game?
I have no idea. That
Okay.
sounds creepy. I don't even want to worry about it. I don't even want to think about it.
I've been watching a lot of Criminal Minds, so that sounds real creepy to me.
Why'd you bring it there?
I know. It's
Damn it.
dark.
Yeah, a lot of Criminal Minds, a lot of dead bodies and stuff. You know, Inigo Montoya was on that show, and he had to quit because it was like, it's too much.
Well, I think what he said that he didn't realize that there would be so much violence against women.
Yeah,
and he didn't like it.
but it was like,
I think he thought it was going to be a different kind of show.
yeah. So he left.
Yeah, he did. He was so good too.
He was really good. I mean, everybody on that show was really good. But anyway, reel myself back in.
I know. But the point is, we don't know what that is. Online dress-up game?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what the hell they're even referencing. But what scares me is, first off, the online dress-up game scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Just because my mind is dark. But secondly, what scares me initially here is on the other hand, if your content includes traditional child pastimes or activities, video games are traditionally a child pastime or activity. This is the thing. This is the part that worries me about certain channels, especially people that we're friends with who have a channel that is specifically video games. And it's like, that is worrisome.
I think what we should do is we should put the link to the FTC page that talks about all this in the YouTube channel down in the description and
that way people
in
can
our
take a look at
links
it.
wherever we post our video, because I think people who have channels really need to review that information to see where they fall, because we do talk about video games, but like it said, we also talk about employment. We have talked about politics because there's a lot of different things like that. There's a lot of adult content that's not necessarily sexual, that's just adult themes that we talk about even with video games. So I mean, I think the only video or audio video that I would actually be concerned about would be our review of Endgame. That would be the only one that I'd actually be concerned about.
Right, but I mean...
but that's not even directed towards kids.
We also swore a lot.
We did, and...
I did specifically.
A lot of... I mean, superheroes are not traditionally for children anymore.
Right, yeah.
They're just not.
A lot of adults are there.
Yeah, there's a lot of adults that like superheroes just as much as kids.
Yeah.
So that's going to be... I'm not worried about us because...
Yeah.
Of what our content is.
So second, just because your video has bright colors or animated characters doesn't mean you're automatically covered by COPA. While many animated shows are directed to kids, the FTC recognizes there can be animated programming that appeals to everyone, such as Rick and Morty, for instance.
Yes.
It is not a children's show.
No.
Third, the complaint in the YouTube case offers some examples of channels the FTC considered to be directed to children. For example, many content creators explicitly stated in the About section of their YouTube channel that their intended audiences was children under 13.
Okay.
So, perfect. Other channels made similar statements in communication with YouTube. In addition, many of the channels featured popular animated children's programs or showed kids playing with toys or participating in other child-oriented activities. Some of the channel owners also enabled settings that made their content appear when users searching for the names of popular toys or animated characters want to see the FTC's analysis to the context. Read page 10 to 14 of the YouTube complaint. Again, this link will be on the stuff, so if you want to check that out, you can. Finally, if you've applied the factors listed in the COPA rule and still wonder if your content is directed to children, it might help to consider how others view your content and content similar to yours. Has your channel been reviewed on sites that evaluate content for kids? Is your channel or channels like yours mentioned in blogs for parents of young children or in media articles about child-directed content? Have you surveyed your users, or is there other empirical evidence about the age of your audience? These are all things you have to ask yourself.
I don't even know if that's information that you can pull off YouTube.
I don't know either.
Age?
Like the age of your
I don't know
viewership.
I don't know if you could pull that demographic.
I don't know either. Yeah.
I don't want to pull that demographic because our channel, all our videos, our podcast is not for kids. So I'm not
worried.
I'm not pulling those demographics because I don't care. That's not.
Yeah.
You know.
We're not really worried about it. So what are the possible penalties for violating COPA? Like I've said already,
a shit ton of money.
The rule, a shit ton of fucking money that really nobody can afford. The rule allows for civil penalties of up to $42,530 per violation, but the FTC considers a number of factors in determining the appropriate amount, including a company's financial condition and the impact a penalty could have on its ability to stay in business. Well, that's good.
Yeah, but that says a company.
Yes.
It doesn't say a person.
That is.
And I don't know a whole lot of companies there are companies.
Yeah.
But there's more individuals that are uploading on YouTube than
100%.
companies. So
yeah. While Google and YouTube paid $170 million in another COPA case settled this year, the operator paid a total civil penalty of $35,000. So that's a lot of goddamn money. So yeah, I mean there are a lot of comments too though that are like, what about channels that provide independent commentary and use animation or clips of things considered for kids? Are they problematic under COPA? Almost every video on YouTube contradicts with one to all of the guidelines listed on this page. We need simple rules that all of us can follow. And I agree with that statement because totally there are so many videos where not just for children, but I mean if you look at general advertisement, like Coca-Cola, they chose the color red for a reason. Because it attracts the eye, not just for children, but for everybody. It's an attractive color. You want to look at it. Same thing with blue, Pepsi. These companies aren't choosing these colors out of from a whim. No. They're choosing specific colors that are like, what color really attracts the eye?
Yeah.
That goes, oh man, you're walking down the aisle of all of these other soft drinks. What? Oh, that's a bright red. What is that? Oh man, that's Coca-Cola. Sure, I'll buy a 6-pack. Is that Santa Claus on there? Oh, that's sweet.
Or the polar bears.
Is it I love the polar bears. They just, whatever. But the see the new one with the puffin? The puffin uses his beak to open the bottle. It's fucking adorable.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's so cute. But YouTubers do the same thing. They, their opening screen of whatever their video is, it's bright colors. It's like a laser show. It's all these things, and it's like it's there to attract you. Dragon Man. Sorry. It's there to every time. It's there to attract you to their video. The music is catchy. It's all these things. So it's like, pretty much every video violates one or some or all of those things. There's always a catchy song. The visuals are always catching the eye. Yeah,
here's my problem. I know there's going to be just overt, violations of this. I get that. But when you start getting into the weeds of these very, very, in my opinion, super vague,
like niche.
Yeah,
type.
I mean, you're like right on a line.
Yeah.
How are they going to come after content people and be able to defend this in court? It's unfortunate because the government has the money to do it where the people don't. However, that doesn't just mean the government automatically wins. So if people are out there and they're content creators, make sure you're specific. Put in your description, even those little stars in each end. Our content is not for children under the age of blah blah blah.
Those asterisks.
Just as a protector, but just because the government comes after you, if you haven't done anything wrong, doesn't mean they're automatically going to win. But at the end of the day, I think if content creators are careful and they always put a not a caveat, but something in their description that says, or even check your demographic. If you're able to check your demographic on YouTube and you see you've got kids, you need to do some work to clean that stuff out and go back through your videos, update your descriptions, do whatever you got to do, even if it's going to take you a long time. Take the Christmas break to do it, whatever. Yeah. Because I think if people are careful and they make sure to label everything correctly and make it very specific that it's not for kids, then if kids see it, they're not under COPA.
Right.
They've made it very clear that we're not advertising to kids. Just do your try to do your best to do that. I think that would cover you.
I think I mean, because the weird thing too is that there is a YouTube Kids. There is a separate YouTube that's called YouTube Kids.
Yeah. But kids aren't going to go on there all the time.
But that's the thing is that, like, I don't understand. It's like there's a YouTube Kids. So if you're on regular YouTube, it's like a rated R movie and a rated G movie. If your kid goes into a rated R movie, it's not the director's fault for making that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
your kid shouldn't be in the movie.
Yeah.
Your kid should be in the rated G movie. It's like,
And also,
he wanted to see Deadpool. I don't know what to tell you.
And also, if somebody's making specific content for kids, why are they on regular YouTube?
There's also that, well, because I don't think on YouTube Kids there's that, because I think they kind of already have those rules put in where there's no advertisements and there's no comments, so you're not really making any money.
Right.
So I think, I'm not 100% sure. I don't really look at the YouTube Kids things, but because sometimes Ollie will watch stuff on YouTube Kids. Sometimes he watches stuff on regular YouTube because it's weird. The stuff that's on YouTube that isn't on YouTube Kids, it's weird because it's like, well, that's a kids thing. It's a family vlog show where they're not swearing, they're having fun, they're playing games. Why isn't that on YouTube Kids?
And
it's weird.
The other thing too is maybe it's who's viewing it. Most of the time, I think a lot of parents are not going to let their kids have their own YouTube account. They can use their account.
That's
so.
Ollie uses mine.
Yeah, and yours is going to say you're a 30-something-year-old man.
Oh, that's a good point.
And you're watching these kids things.
That's a valid argument.
So
yeah, right.
I think maybe they're not. Maybe that's the reason.
I'm the one watching the show.
Yeah, it's looking like you're watching it, not your son.
That's all right. That's actually a valid point. Yeah, because I'm not one of those. And that's another thing too, is that I'll blame parents for this too, because it's like, why aren't you paying attention to the things that you're like? How are you giving your child who's under the age of 13 their own fucking YouTube channel?
Okay,
not channel, but their own YouTube account.
I absolutely hold parents accountable because there's so many kids. I mean, just like, why do kids under 13, even 13, why do they need a smartphone? Why? Yeah. Why does a 10-year-old need a smartphone?
I agree with giving a kid a cell phone, but
why?
No. Not like an iPhone or a super smartphone.
A cell phone, why?
For safety.
For
like one of those like cheap flip phones. Like if I need to call you, if you're coming out of school late for some reason, if school closes early or whatever the hell, you need to call me and then I can come pick you up.
Okay.
Or if you're at a friend's house.
Generations and generations of people survived just fine in those situations.
Just saying.
With no cell phones.
Like I wouldn't mind giving my kid like one of those cheap little cell phones in case of emergencies.
Yeah, but that's what the front office is for, is school.
Yeah, but sometimes you're not in an area where there is a phone. There are like phone. What is it? Not phone booths. Yeah, phone booths. Phone booths don't really exist anymore. Because when I was a kid, they still existed and they were around. So if I needed to call somebody real quick, I just get on the phone. Yeah, I could pick up a random phone booth and be
anytime our school closed for whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
that's bad because my son's school doesn't. They will message everybody.
Exactly.
They do the same thing.
There's
the school thing is not really a good example.
No, my point, there's absolutely no reason for a child under the age of 13 to have a cell phone. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and that's only parents trying to compensate for something. Your kids don't need a cell phone. I think that when you give them a cell phone, and they're not getting flip phones, they're getting smartphones.
Yeah, but that's
because parents want them to be able to play their games.
That's what I mean. That's the parents' fault.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to give my kid a fucking iPhone.
No,
I'm going to give him one of those cheap flip phones from Walmart. Yeah, with minutes.
But the thing is that's a rare case. Most parents are giving their kids smartphones because they get them for $20 adding a line or whatever, so they give it to them for Christmas. And now their kid has all these freaking accounts that all these crazy people on the internet have access to.
I think that's the problem with it, but
I just don't understand that. Like, you need to minimize your kid's footprint on the internet.
Yeah, because it's also it's very dangerous. You don't know what the hell's out there.
No.
Like, you don't know what crazy shit your kid's getting into, and you'd like to trust your child, but let's be honest, kids are idiots.
Yes.
At a certain age. Well, they're not world smart, I should say.
Yeah.
So they're like the example they put were like, I'm Mary Sue and I'm from California and I love your show. It's like, yeah, that is something I could 100% see a child writing.
And then somebody commenting,
I can see my son writing that.
Yeah. And then somebody going, you live in California.
I live in California too. Let's meet at the mall. Yeah. Let's whatever the hell. Now I don't have a child anymore because they were abducted by some sick bastard with a pencil mustache. Because it's always the pencil mustaches that get you.
Right. I don't know about that.
No.
I don't remember that from Criminal
Drawn
Mind.
on pencil mustaches.
I don't remember that from Criminal Mind.
Well.
But anyways, I think that if content providers
Always a
just are
windowless
very,
fan
very,
somewhere.
very, very careful,
I agree. Yeah.
and they label their videos, which means go back through your videos, relabel your videos.
If you have like 5 years of worth of videos, you have, like you said, take the Christmas break.
Yep.
Go through every single video.
Copy paste.
And
copy,
not
paste,
every
copy,
video
paste.
has to have it, but
I would make sure every
go
video.
go through every single goddamn
I
video.
would go through every video.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, because the guidelines are not crystal clear.
Right. I mean, even on the federal website, it's clear,
It's
but it's
more
still
clear, but
not
it's
crystal clear.
no.
There's still like, it's still vague in a sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like, but I feel like that's just how the government does it. They're very vague with everything they write.
That's not okay when you're trying to
No, I know.
penalize somebody
I agree with that, but
$42,530,
that's
which
how
is a very specific number.
That was a very specific
Yeah,
number.
right?
It's like, it's not just 45,000. It's $45,530. Like we're
Yeah. I don't
like,
understand.
Jesus Christ.
That.
Fucking, all right.
It's a very specific amount.
I don't know why it's that specific, but it's like, but yeah, I mean, there are certain content creators like one I know of on YouTube is Arlo. He looks like he's a puppet. He looks like the Cookie Monster, and he reviews games. A lot of the games he's been reviewing lately have been Nintendo games. And to a child, that's a kid's show. To really anybody who just passes through, it's a kid's show, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because he considers himself not to be a kid show, because he's not really aiming towards kids. But the problem is that if I worked for the government and I worked under the COPA thing, and I was going through videos and I saw the Cookie Monster talking about the new Pokemon game, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's totally for kids.
Yeah.
This guy is 100. Just looking at the thumbnail, it's like, yeah, that guy is 100% for kids. You can watch the video. He doesn't swear once. Yep, this is a kids channel. This is 100% a kids channel.
He's going to have a tough time.
He's going to have a tough time, and that's what sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks for people like him who are like, you try to work clean, you try to work friendly, you try to be ad friendly, because that's what everybody was and is worried about, was being ad friendly.
Yeah.
Because if you're ad friendly, you get more ads.
Yep.
You get more advertisers and you make more money and you make a living.
Yep.
Being a blue puppet that looks like the Cookie Monster talking about Nintendo video games and not, no pun intended, not working blue, he's going to get a lot of advertisers.
Yeah.
But because of that, YouTube fucked him.
Because now he's under
draped him
COPA
over a
and he
barrel.
can't get
Now
advertisers.
now he's under the COPA law, and yeah, like he's not going to get advertisers. He's going to lose. Comments are going to be taken off. He's going to lose advertisers. He's going to lose everything that identifies his channel as something that exists. Like everything that's no more bell icon, no more, hey, here are other videos that you can check on. He's one of those channels that unfortunately is going to be killed by COPA.
Oh man.
Which is an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, because he has a cool shtick.
He's got a super cool shtick, and I love that he made a video talking about the COPA thing, and he doubled down on the shtick. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I'm a dude with a puppet. It was like I'm a puppet. I can't be blamed with the way I was born. I was born this way. And I'm like, that's fucking adorable, but this is your problem.
Yeah.
Stop being so cute and adorable. It's like,
Yeah.
my parents are puppets. I'm a puppet. It's like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
You're writing yourself into a corner.
Oh,
I
man.
get it. It's your character.
Yeah.
Today's the day to break character.
Yeah.
Puppet goes down. Guy comes up and it's like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
What the hell? I got to get rid of the puppet and I got to just be this dude. And it's not fun anymore. And it's like he made it fun. He made a shtick. He made himself original.
Yeah.
How many video game reviewers are there? There's a dime a dozen. How many blue puppets are there? Not one. There's one. There's only one of them. It's Arlo. And unfortunately, he's probably going to be gone. But in the beginning of the story, I mean, we talked about other kind of platforms, and I think Twitch is one of those platforms that I think a lot of, especially gamers, are going to be going to, because Twitch is a huge platform for live gaming. You can even you can even store your videos on there. So even if you're only live for so long, you can still have a backlog of videos that people can still watch. And I think that's going to be, if you're worried about YouTube, if you're a game channel and you're worried about COPA screwing you and YouTube screwing you, I think Twitch or a similar platform would be the best bet. I think just escaping YouTube, getting out of the internment camp of YouTube, and hitting safety of Canada, i.e. Twitch. Just get the fuck out.
Yeah, if you don't want to take the time
place
to go through your videos,
or if you think that, or taking the time, like, if you're in Arlo's situation and no matter what you do, you're screwed because revenue is gone. Like, all right, I'll go back. My entire channel will be kid friendly, but I'm not going to be getting paid. I'm not going to be getting revenue off these. I can't make money off these videos.
No.
Sure, I won't have to pay the $42,000 fine because I'm acknowledging that I'm a kid's channel.
But now I got to go get a job.
Now it screws me. Yeah, now it screws me in the long run because
there's no channel anyways.
Yeah, that's when he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't, which sucks. And I think I don't think he's the only one who's going to have that problem.
If he has a big enough following, though, what I would do is go onto Patreon.
That's what I mean. If he has a Patreon, he might be fine, and he might still be able to be okay. Yeah. But I think it's one of those situations where it's like, keep Patreon, go to Twitch.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people on Twitch that get paid from Twitch to be on Twitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to worry about ad revenue. You just, there are specific rules you have to follow. Don't be overly sexualized. Don't do, you can't show firearms. You can't show drugs. You can't show alcohol. You can't show certain things because they know kids are watching.
Yeah.
But there's no ads. So you can still have your shtick. You know what I mean? You can still be Arlo and do reviews, and you can do live reviews. You can do even more fun stuff as this puppet guy. You can go to cons, live events, and do all this crazy shit and still be yourself. But I think staying on YouTube is not an option for him, and I don't think it's going to be an option for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think
that's
it's sad
really
because
unfortunate.
YouTube was a huge platform for creators.
And but they just decided to screw everybody.
Oh yeah, it's stifling creators.
Wow.
And it's stifling the creative process, which sucks for a lot of creative people who are on YouTube that are now unfortunately gonna either have to leave YouTube or bite the bullet and be a child channel, be a kids channel, and not get paid for it. And just do it for the love of making videos on YouTube, which I think after a while is gonna run very thin, especially when you're making content for a company that just doesn't give a shit about you.
Really, the only other option is to have two channels, one on kids, one not on kids, and then put your video on kids and on not on kids, and maybe tweak your content on the not on kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a lot of work, and
that's what I mean.
And I know just from doing our podcast, editing takes hours.
Yeah.
And and uploading it to all of our, from our host and that's the ferrets.
Yeah, if there's any noise in the background, we're in a room with two ferrets.
Yeah, we had to move our studio because me and my husband are fostering two dogs who are troubled. And they live right next to our studio, so we can't go down there right now.
Troubled youths.
Troubled youth. But yeah, I think this is a really screwed situation for content creators.
Yeah, so that's why YouTube and Google are specifically more YouTube than Google.
Yeah.
Are the ass hats of the week.
I can't do it as good as you do.
I practice.
I think that's it, right?
I do believe that is all.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to the podcast. If you want to check us out, you can go to we are on Facebook. Ooh, haven't done this in a while. If you go on Facebook, we're at Geek-lish. Wow.
Geek-lish.
We're at Geek-lish.
Geek-lish.
We're on Twitter at Geek_lish. I almost said Twitter. Tweeter.
We're on Twitter.
And we're on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Blueberry. And eventually someday, Pandora, whenever they get their shit together.
Maybe.
I'm not even sure anymore.
I don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore. Freaking Pandora.
Unless you're going to put us on there, then I love you, Pandora. If not, though, but I don't know. Whatever. Do what you want. You're adults.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for listening, and we'll check you out next time.
Yep. Stay nerdy out there.
All right. Bye.
Bye.